I never really talked about this before, but a lot of people have been curious about it. Hey everyone, it's Alysa here, and today I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite things about growing up in China in the Greater Bay Area, in Guangzhou to be specific. I've been in China since 1999 until now, so that is 24 years already, and it's crazy to think how time has flown and how much has changed. So today I'm going to do a recap on the things that I loved about growing up here, as well as covering why I grew up in China in the first place. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. China has changed a lot since I first came here. I remember taking taxis as a kid, packed up in the back with my brother and sisters, and zooming through the streets that have changed completely up until now. The transportation has improved so much. Living here, I didn't get my driver's license until I was 26 because I didn't really need it. When we first came to China, there was only one metro line had just opened, and now there are 18 metro lines. The transportation is definitely one of my favorite things about growing up here. I remember as soon as I graduated university, they started having the shared bike system, which is definitely my favorite mode of transportation. You don't get stuck in the traffic, and point A to point B super accessibly and leave your bike wherever. You don't have to worry about going back to the same spot and cycling it to another location. They are totally digital, and you just have to scan the QR code to start using it. Now shared bikes are available in almost every single city in China, and they're a super convenient way to get around. You can reach anywhere in the city by metro or by bus, but of course I would avoid taking the metro at the rush hours because it is so packed on line 3 and line 5. It's a very scary experience if you're not used to it and you don't do it on the daily. I do everything that I can to avoid taking line 3 and line 5 during those rush hours. When I first started taking public buses in the metro, I would use my Yangzheng Tongka and just swipe it on the bus or the metro, but now it's completely digital. You can either use a QR code on your phone or you can just charge your card in Apple Wallet. So I just swipe my phone there, passing every time, which makes it really fast and easy. And when you're taking the bus, not only can you swipe your phone as well, but you can also use this mini app. I'm really impatient, so I'd use this mini app called 车来了 to check how many more minutes before the bus comes around to my spot, refreshing it every few minutes to see if the bus has arrived yet. And of course there's Didi, which is China's version of the Uber. These are definitely one of the most favorited forms of transportation lately because it's super fast. You often get a lot of discount cards. This is all quite different from the taxi trips I had as a kid that you have to pay cash on. And you ask for the fa piao. Back then the taxi drivers would also chat with you about so much stuff, and they would be asking you all your life questions. And anywhere that you can't bike to but you're in a rush, you should probably get a Didi. There have been some negative news in recent years about some accidents involving Didi drivers, but now there have been a lot of precautions ensuring women's safety in these kinds of shared transportation. So for example, your whole ride is going to be recorded, and if there is any chance of an accident or you feel in danger, there are buttons on the screen which you can click to quickly alert and get yourself to safety. There's also the option to share your itinerary with a friend or a family member so that they can be checking where you are at during your journey. So props on Didi for making improvements. And of course, I have to mention the high-speed train. I remember taking a high-speed train to go to Ocean Park in Hong Kong for the first time when I was a kid. And these trains are so convenient because they're super fast, and I would take them everywhere in Guangdong, and the train stations are very clean and comfortable. You can get a coffee or get some breakfast before you get on the train. And once you're in the train, you can read a book, watch a movie. I've had some really good moments journaling on those trains or getting emotional about a very touching movie. I also like that everything is also completely digital. I don't have to go to the station to buy a ticket as I used to when I was a kid. Now everything's completely digital and you don't need a paper ticket at all. I think especially after COVID, then you just swipe your ID. So Chinese people will swipe their ID card and I would swipe my passport, and I don't need anything else to be taking the trains. So I really like that because you can just get a ticket wherever you are. You don't have to actually go to the station. So when I'm out and about nowadays, I have a lot to choose from: how I want to get there and how soon I want to get there. There's limitless choices available. Okay, online shopping. As many of you know, China has a thriving e-commerce market with Taobao and JD leading the way. I think I started shopping on Taobao when I was like 17. It was such an amazing world to discover. I was really overweight growing up. I couldn't get Western brands, couldn't even buy clothes for my size. I had to buy like 40-year-old women's clothes, and to finally be able to get some Western brands and bigger size clothes and have more options for shoes on Taobao, that was such a dream come true for me. My family used to go to Yidalu in Haiju every single month to get some Western ingredients for some dishes we would make from back home. And now we didn't have to do that. We could buy Western ingredients online instead of going all the way there with a little cart. And the camera that I'm filming on, I got on JD, and basically all of my electronics, I would get them on JD. And basically all brands have their own flagship store on Taobao. So you don't have to go to separate websites to make your purchases. You can just buy them all inside Taobao from those brands. And it just makes it so much easier to receive. They have all kinds of 购物节 shopping events 2 or 3 times throughout the year. You've got 618, you've got 双11, all the shops will be coming up with some sales and discounts on those days, and you can stock up on a bunch of stuff. Shampoo, toothpaste, gadgets, clothes, shoes, food and snacks. I would get everything on Taobao because it's pretty affordable and the deliveries come really quickly. Like if I buy something on Tmall 超市, on the Tmall supermarket, or if I get something on JD, it will be there the next morning or even that afternoon. And same with Taobao, you get your deliveries in 2 or 3 days. So this is probably everyone's favorite thing about China. If I don't live in China, I think it will take some time to readjust to not having that kind of option and convenience living somewhere else. It's also super convenient because as someone living alone, you don't have to carry all of those things home yourself. You can get those heavy, big items online, get them delivered straight to your door, and you don't have to struggle with carrying everything home, unloading it or offloading it from the car by yourself. But it's not just consumer goods that can be delivered quickly and easily. Food delivery in China is also a really nice experience. Meituan has been around for a while. Just basic restaurant delivery, food, within 30 minutes you can get your order to your door. This was way before the US started having all those kinds of panda delivery. Sorry, I totally forgot what the US is using for food delivery right now. But I remember when the US first started having it, it was like such a big deal, but we had been having it for a while. You get kind of spoiled just being able to eat anything you want within 30 minutes. So whether it's hot pot from Haidilao or McDonald's delivery, you can get anything you want straight to your door. And if you're looking for fresh groceries, platforms like Meituan 买菜 and Hema, my favorite, Hema Fresh Hippo, got you covered. Fresh fruits and vegetables, meat, seafood, fresh baked bread, you can get all of that. For example, if I wanted to bake chocolate chip cookies or Thai coconut chicken lemon soup, I could get all the ingredients I want online instead of going to a bunch of different stores, and they would be delivered to me within 30-60 minutes. I especially love this service when I'm coming home from work and it's been a long day and I just want to get home quickly, get some dinner on the table. Then I would order it on the way home, and by the time I get home, the grocery bag is at my door. Yes, it will cost a little bit more than going to like a wet market or something, but to me, there's really value in having my time back. Next is customer service. Actually, I don't really hear people talking about this, but I noticed that with companies from the US, if you want to get in touch with someone about an issue that you're having, you have to send them an email and then wait like 7 working days to get a response. Like if I'm using some kind of platform and I encounter a problem, I do not want to have to wait that long. In China, I feel that there's always going to be someone online to answer your problems and give you a solution, or just to hear you complain. So like every time I'd have an issue, I would immediately find the 24-hour online customer service. You don't even have to call them. Like some people, you just don't like making those calls. You can keep everything online and just send them a text and then they will text back. And if it's a robot, you just ask for the real person. The real person gets online and then they help you solve your problem. Everything is fixed. And I really appreciate that instantaneousness compared to waiting 7 working days. But also that's only possible because of the huge population in China, so they have enough staff to be online at all times of the day to answer questions like that. So makes sense. Okay, safety. A lot of people talk about this one as well. I'm not saying that there haven't been any negative experiences and that this is a totally safe space, but that I personally have been pretty lucky when it comes to safety. Because there are so many surveillance cameras, a lot of people don't dare to commit crimes because they're going to be found pretty quickly. And also, of course, compared to the US with all the gun violence and all, China is definitely much safer. But then again, probably most countries in the world are much safer compared to the US, so. Okay, this is probably one of my favorite ones. Don't judge me. I love the shared power banks. There are shared power banks everywhere. I am an iPhone user and I am a creator, so my phone is always running out of battery. And sometimes you just don't want to carry like this bulky power bank in your bag all the time. And with the shared power banks available, that means I can grab one, quickly charge my phone for an hour or two, put it back, and be on with my day. I don't have to worry about charging my power bank at home or taking a bag big enough to fit it in. It's also completely digital. I just scan the QR code, it pops out, I pay like 3 RMB an hour for using it, and then I send it back when it's done. It's just such a lifesaver. You never are gonna be scared of running out of power when you're out and about because you can get them everywhere. Affordable beauty. I've been obsessed with manicures since I was like 8 years old. And then by the time I was 15, I was giving manicures to friends and parents of friends who would come over. So as soon as I went into a corporate job, I made sure to budget some of my salary for manicures. And now it has become such a lovely part of my monthly self-care ritual. I always get gel mani-pedis for like $45 US together. Lastly, this is one that I really didn't expect. Growing up, I made friends from all over the world, Canadian, Polish, French, Malaysian, other third culture kids like me, which only expanded when I went to university. I felt so fortunate that my university attracted so many interesting souls. It really opened my eyes to the beauty of the world around me. I probably wouldn't have had the same experience if I stayed in my dad's small town in Michigan or in Poland, where my mom is from. My eyes were open to the beauty of Arabic culture, visiting the home of my Saudi Arabian classmate and enjoying the delicious treats that she served us, or cooking with my Turkish classmates and organizing fundraisers for Nepal when they had the earthquake, learning about eating fries with ketchup and mayo from Russian classmates, and sharing chili sauce with Indonesian classmates and participating in the yearly international food festivals. I made friends to last a lifetime. This was definitely something I didn't expect about living in Guangzhou. China is by no means an immigrant country, and nor does it make it easy for the people who really want to stick around for the long term. To think of Guangzhou as a layover, a lot of people coming through, but no one really sticking around like my family did. However, it was so precious to make those connections along the way, and now I have friends on all different corners of the world who I can reach out to and connect with during my travels. It's really meaningful to me to see all these people coming in and exploring my favorite city in China, which is Guangzhou. If I wasn't living in Guangzhou, I wouldn't be in China anymore because Guangzhou is it for me. And sorry for those who disagree, but it's home. I wish it could be home, but you know, China doesn't open their green cards like that. These are some of the main things that I loved about growing up in Guangzhou, and granted, most of these are recent changes. Guangzhou was completely not like this when I first got here. So much of what you see now didn't exist at all when I first came to China. There was not all the people and all the buzz. There was none of the convenience and luxury, and it was definitely not as easy for foreigners to live here. I think even a lot of the Ling Ling Ho kids who grew up in Guangzhou, they don't know what it was like before. They can only see what it's like now, and many of them don't see how much it has changed to get to where it is today. It feels really special to have seen that change. Here you follow along if you're interested in more stories about my China life or growing up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!